Hello and welcome to our live stream of Curse of Strahd as presented by For the Love of Crits. We are back from our 1 month hiatus during some of the holidays and other personal issues that were going on. And we have switched our schedule. We will be back on for every 2 weeks, barring any other obstacles. Thank you for joining us as we continue with our Lost Clerics of Barovia as they journey deeper into the valley. For maps, we are using Tailspire, the new early access program available on Steam. For music, I am using Sirenscape, an online program that allows us to sync our audio so we can all enjoy the same soundscapes in sync. In this world, for the Tailspire maps, I'm using a mix of different sources online. The most common and most prevalent is Demon Goon, the creator of Tailspire maps, who has a focus in Curse of Strahd. We're going to go around, and since it's been so long, we're going to have a very short prompt today of a 2-sentence description of your character, just so we can become reacquainted with the 4 clerics that have become lost in Barovia. Tonight, we're going to be starting with Onyx.
Hey everyone, my name's Josh. I play Onyx, our Warforged cleric. You see this tall individual. He is Warforged, so you look at him, he looks like a robot almost. Black, metal, piercing blue crystal eyes. That looks a little foreboding.
Okay, Herbert, you are next, and Kunerith, you are on deck.
So I sort of interpreted this as a way of introducing myself. So
That's fine.
Herbert would say, "I'm Herbert. I'm a maker. I find creative solutions to unique problems." That's it.
Okay. Kunerith and Graves on bat.
Short description of Conerith would be a pale, quiet, mild man haunted by his past.
Okay. Who also, because in case you haven't seen previously, Kunerith has taken an oath of silence, so anytime he is speaking, it is mentally, as he is able to connect with those around him.
Yeah, I guess it's been a while, so that's a good clarification. And I usually don't clarify anymore, just because most of the time it's within context of the party. But usually if it's people outside of the party, you get kind of an insight into the fact that he doesn't talk as much because it's an imposition on people.
Okay, Graves. And then we have Onyx on deck for giving our recap, excuse me.
Graves, a simpleton gravedigger who awoke from his own death in a state perhaps between life and death. Now devoted to the goddess of death, Pharasma, whether out of pure devotion and belief or possibly in fear and denial of his own state. And without memory.
Okay. And as we have always said, the content of Curse of Strahd was created by Wizards of the Coast and is notorious for being a campaign with very dark genres. This program is intended for mature audiences as we do use adult languages and themes. Viewer discretion is advised. We thank you again for joining. We ask that you keep the chat civil and keep the chat and comments from having spoilers for any Wizards of the Coast adventures. We're going to have Onyx give us a recap of what happened in our last session with our Lost Clerics of Barovia. And please, for the love of crits, like, comment, and subscribe.
You see Onyx walking along next to the party. They make their way down the road. While the others talk, Onyx is deep in thought. There are so many questions in this weird place called Barovia. I know Akati sent me here to get strong enough for the battle that will come with Frith, but maybe she has too much faith in me and my abilities. I mean, we barely got through that fight with the wolves that Strahd sent at us. He is a mastermind, the likes I have never encountered. I mean, Herbert was falling apart right after the fight, so I did try to encourage him, saying that we, at least had won the fight. While the war is far from over, we had gotten a victory. Seemed to help, but truth is, I feel like Strahd is just toying with us. Maybe he did underestimate us and thought his pets would tear us limb from limb. But I doubt it. A mastermind like that doesn't live as long as he has by underestimating his opponents. Graves was also very weak after battle, more so than usual. Maybe this is because his lack of pulse. I have to dig into that a little deeper still. And Herbert did die in battle, I think. But, like the other two, he returned to us again. It was unsettling enough after Graves had sprung up back to life way back when, but now all three of them have died and returned. This is a strange land indeed. We had set up camp that night after making our way through another gated wall that resembled the first one we saw when first entering this forsaken land. I wonder if Strahd has expanded his control, and this new gate was the original cursed place. Focus, Onyx. Anyways, what the heck happened last night? First, Graves asked me to lock him to a tree. I mean, I'm cautious because of his lack of pulse, but this? Something is definitely weird with that one. Then, throughout the night, each one of them woke from a nightmare with a jolt. I know they have all seen things that would make most men lose their minds, but this was different. Maybe Strahd is getting into their head. Maybe it's the bite on the neck! No, that can't be right, as Conereth was not bitten. More questions than answers, as usual. This morning, I was able to get some answers finally. Irina was more talkative today and told us that the burgomaster was actually her uncle. Her real father is unknown, and she even had a brother. But I guess he got taken away early on. She doesn't know much about him. Got me thinking that maybe Strahd wants her so bad because he's her father. It's just speculation at this point, but there has to be a connection between those two, more than just Strahd liking her beauty. Irina also warned us of the Vistani and told us to be mindful of our words with them. They are not to be trusted and will twist things to their benefit, she said, as much as possible. She also informed us that they can leave the mist? What the fuck? Why can't we? We have heard over and over that they can curse people, so maybe they're the ones that curse this land. What if Strahd is actually a victim and was cursed by them only for the curse to get out of control? What if the Vistani that brought us here were just delivering sacrifices so that Strahd left the other Vistani alone? Again, more questions than answers. Too much speculation for me to know how to find his weakness yet. Every enemy has a weakness, and we will find Strahd's. We have to. Kadi would not have sent me here if this was hopeless. I just need to go back to my training and assess things again and again, just go over them. Maybe caring for this party has become my undoing. When did I start caring for people anyways? I joined them at first because it was tactfully advantageous. But now, I actually care about them. Guess I'll have to reflect on that another time. There's a windmill in front of us that could have enemies lurking about. Need to be more alert. Focus. Focus, Onyx.
As Onyx had stated, you guys have come past this, down this hill, and see ahead of you a large windmill upon its own hill, and then the road continuing along its way. You are not closely followed, but being followed by the black carriage as you arrive or as you are traveling down this hill. Konereth is in the back, keeping track of where you guys believe Strahd is. Last time your party had been talking, you decided that perhaps with Strahd so close on your heels, it was best to not investigate the old mill on the hill, as Irina had called it. You see the path continuing off to the right, and it weaves around the hills and along the edges of the forest. Do you guys, would you like to check for anything around the mill, or are you going to just kind of walk by it and just give general looks as you pass by?
Just
As
to,
a player, I want to look at it, but Graves has no interest and will just walk past.
Onyx is more looking for like recent footprints going up to it, just general taking the sound, seeing if he hears anything.
For sure. So, as you are walking by the area, you see that near the base of the hill, there is cobblestone walls, almost like what you would see along the edge of farmland. And it travels, there is a single pathway that goes up the hill, and you can see it has some footsteps, but majority of the ruts have been from a cart. Based on the width of it, you would think that would be the hand cart that you'd previously seen Granny using, that she had given you guys the pies from. So from there, the old Slavich Road transitions here from being a winding path to the Balanak Mountains to a lazy trail that is hugging the mountainside as it descends into the fog-filled valley. Again, in the heart of the valley, you see the walled town near the shores of the Great Mountain Lake. The town of which Irina has told you is Valaki. The lake is Lake Zarovich. Its waters dark and still. Do you guys continue along the road towards Valaki? Or wait?
I mean, we're past the windmill at this point, or we can still see it?
You guys are, so the road kind of continues along, and the fork in the road is almost like you reached a driveway going to the mill. So there's no other outlets from it. So if you go up to the mill, then you're kind of closed off from going to the other parts. The main road is hugging the mountainside that you guys had just kind of walked down. The Balanek Mountains, as Irina has called them. And it's what is kind of guiding the road, so you can't make as straight of a shot as you would have since you've left the gates of Barovia.
And how long have we been walking? Like, when was? Are we
Gates
looking
of-
at midday now?
Knew you were going to ask that.
Well, I mean, because if it's midday, like we're getting towards the mid-afternoon, it might be advantageous for us to go up to the windmill and kind of.
I think it's still
defensible
pretty
position.
early in the day based on the map. I'm pulling up my. One of the nice things with Curse of Strahd is it's such a popular module that people have
lot.
made things for everything. And so there's actually someone on Reddit that made a Curse of Strahd distance calculator that you can choose one area to another. You can multiply it by however much you're stretching the map out or not, and you can just be like, oh, it's this many days or what have you. So
Yeah.
I've been using that to keep more consistency with our
That's awesome.
Yeah.
with everything. So travel time calculator, there we go. So you guys just left the western gates of Barovia.
Yep, it's
Yeah,
not
we
too
were-
far from it.
Yeah, we were a little bit past it, but not very far.
And to the old mill on the hill. Okay, so it's about a 2.5 hour walk. So if you
Oh,
guys
so
left early in the
still
morning,
early.
it's still really early in the day. So yeah, like I said, I thought it was early in the day because it's not that far when I'm looking at the map.
Okay.
For it.
Meredith wouldn't be setting the pace in this instance. He's more focused on trying to keep an eye out back and make sure that Strahd isn't getting too close. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Graves is still seeming a little bit off. He's probably more so relying on, I guess, Onyx and Herbert at this point.
Before we go too far, I forgot to mention at the beginning of our session, I am implementing a new rule. And that is that we do use luck points in this rather than inspiration, so that the players are able to stack it. As incentive and for reward for those that go through and do the recap, I am offering luck points. So because everyone has done a recap up to this point, everyone's going to get a luck point. Later on, it's going to be just after the recap. Whoever did the recap gets a luck point. So if each of you guys could roll a 1d6.
I rolled in Tailspire. I got a 3.
Got a 2.
A wonderful
That brings-
one.
That brings me up to 6.
And Nerith got a 5.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, each of you add that many luck points to your character sheet. I know you guys used a decent amount in the dire wolf fight.
Yep.
I still have 6 left now with that.
I have a grand total of 1.
Yeah. That's not none, though.
That's not
It is
none.
Not
you can't
none.
influence anyone else's roll, but
Nope.
you can influence yours.
I'm
So.
actually I'm saving my luck points. Apparently, I have 10 now.
Ooh.
So
There was
Thanks.
something critical that I drained all mine for, and I can't remember, but
I think it was to live.
probably.
Yeah.
I
To
don't
cling
remember
to
what it
life.
was, but I
Yeah,
think
it's
that
probably
was
to
like
not
it was
get-
like a life or death situation.
Yeah.
That
That's
were
a fair
like-
time to use it.
Yep.
yeah. Let's see. Okay, so based on the directions that the Vistani had given you, you guys likely have about an 8-hour trip ahead of you. Enough that you could get it done in today,
But it would be
at
pushing
normal
it.
pace. So, if you do delay anywhere from like an hour or more, you're probably going to have to camp.
Well, I know we're nearing the Vistani camp.
Or the Velaki.
Velaki, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind skipping and not checking out the windmill, but it does look like the cart that Granny uses went up there recently.
Yeah, she said that it was run by her and her daughters, sisters, something like that.
Yeah, seems like a sort of place for wayward women. Didn't someone mention that people tend to get adopted here, or
Well,
like
Granny adopted her 2 daughters,
right? Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking of.
but she often calls them her sisters because I don't think they have a huge age difference. But I don't know. Other than Granny, I never really met the sisters. She
Frankly,
always
I'm-
was nice and always got along well enough with my father.
And
Her
She was
uncle.
very kind when we met her when we first arrived in Barovia.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if any of you wanted to chat with her again.
I have no preference at the moment.
I Irina would kind of be like, I'd rather not. I'd rather just get to Valaki.
I would have to agree as well.
I don't
I-
want to camp out here at another night if we can avoid it.
Yes, same. I also am rather interested in finding this vampire hunter that was supposed to be in the vicinity of Loki.
Yes.
Van Richten.
Van Richten, yes. I think it would behoove us to at least exchange intelligence with such an individual.
Yeah, see if he has some sort of a guide or something.
Exchange. What are we gonna give him?
Well, I mean, I can produce things. Usually people will tell you what they want, and we can figure out if we can do it or not.
All right, let's keep going then. Any more time to?
Yes, let's hop to it. This place isn't going anywhere.
Supposedly.
Yeah, yes. I mean, this is a strange place, so I suppose
Yeah,
anything could happen.
At this point, I think I'm just going to accept that literally anything could happen in this land. And probably most of what will happen will be very shitty.
I would have to agree. But we'll make the most of it, right?
We could sure try.
And I'll make a little puff of magical flare with my prestidigitation go, woo! Oh no, it's not. It's not landing, I'm sorry.
Comment from Graves about everything that we interact with from this point forward probably being pretty shitty is Ink and Conairth reflect on if anything positive he knows has happened since we got here.
Granny was nice.
You guys had a decent interaction with Father Donovich.
Donovich? Yeah. I mean, it was all
You know,
around.
until we
It was
found
all
out.
around city situations, though.
No, even then, that wasn't a bad
It
interaction.
was, I think it was positive. We left that, situation better than it was, I think. As far as we know.
You know, the undead still alive. That's a negative in Graves' book.
I mean, we have a direction where we might be able to cleanse or cure him, perhaps.
Fair.
But
Although
that's
Graves is very skeptical.
it's a bit of a pipe dream, yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
To Valaki. Graves is not that gung ho. Graves is kind of just like,
Herbert is putting on his best show of being upbeat, but it's pretty obvious that it is a very thin veneer.
Makes sense. So let me pull up really quick.
the stats of the next thing to try and kill us. This time we'll probably do it again.
So let's see. You guys are traveling along the road. Let's see. There's the search. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so I need someone to roll me a d20.
Sure. 13. I just had my mouse right by the button anyway.
Yep.
You rolled a 13?
13.
Okay.
Historically lucky number.
Yeah. As you guys are traveling down the road, we're going to be utilizing the same map that we had used previously for the black carriage, just because it is a general road shape.
General road shape.
Is this like like a road that ranks above a lieutenant road, or?
Yeah. 5-star road.
Yeah, it's a 5-star general road.
If we get 2 more 5-star roads, we can make it a 6-star road.
Okay. So, as you guys are walking along the road, you pass around the edge of a mountain and you see a gaunt figure with wild hair and bare feet in the distance. He looks at you and he bounds towards you on all fours, wearing a tattered gown of stitched animal skins. Can't tell whether it's a man or a woman. It stoops, sniffs the air, and laughs like a lunatic. The ground nearby is crawling with tiny twig monsters. Roll initiative.
Okay, then. This sounds like a crazed druid or something, and I am honestly super here for that.
Oh boy. Okay. Where's my? Oh,
Hey, mine's pretty good.
I am gonna let you guys go first. I'm gonna assess the battlefield.
Oh, that was another rule I was
Pretty
going to
good.
discuss with you guys. If it is something that would be of interest to have. It was a homebrew rule that I had heard a little bit ago. Basically, at the first round of combat, you can choose to lower your initiative order. You can't increase it, but you can choose to lower it, and for the rest of combat, you're at that initiative order. So it's basically holding off on using your action, and then the rest of the time you're in that new loop. This is an optional rule. I don't think it's broken because you can't move faster. So enemies can go ahead of you still like that. So it is up to you. But I figured I would bring it up.
I think it makes sense because you're basically choosing to wait to let someone respond before you do.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing cheaty about it is the fact that you assume that you would know how other people, like whether or not the other people could respond faster than you. But
Exactly.
it's very mild. So
If it is are you guys okay with looking at implementing that rule?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
in typical battles, some people wait until their leader reacts first before they go ahead and do something. So
Yeah. It seemed like one that just made sense.
Yeah.
Like it didn't
So you mentioned it in like our other game, and it surprised me that it was a homebrew because I say that's just normal in Pathfinder. So it's just like, I mean, yeah, it makes sense to me because I've just always had that. So I have no complaints.
Let's see, and
so little stick.
That's
creatures?
definitely a druid from
yes.
that from that art.
And the fact if you
Where's
hold
that?
down tab, it says human druid.
Human druid. I wonder what we're fighting, guys.
Let me see. I was trying to find a good one that matched the aesthetic I was looking for. Actually, I'll do that one and then make it smaller. That'll work.
It's like a ent or something. That's
Rolls.
Because it was a random encounter, I didn't actually have them set. So Where GM tools? There we go. It's been a little while since I've used Tailspire.
Right.
Or not Tailspire. No, Tailspire. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
There we go. Itty bitty little space. Okay. These ones were here and here. Okay. Turn-based mode. Okay. What were your guys's?
19.
I got 6.
5.
Cole?
I'm 10.
10.
I was just like,
Okay.
really?
Okay, and then
Onyx also may have been lost in his thoughts about Graves and out without.
Fair. Fair.
And strange bondage sleeping habits.
Strange bondage sleeping habits. Yep.
okay, so is anyone switching around their order for the first round?
I'm good.
Or do we want to kind of approach it as we get to you? Like, no, I want to wait.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Figured that makes
Okay,
sense, yeah.
Graves, it is your turn at the top of the docket.
All right, Graves
Look
is
at
going
us,
to his lantern whips up in front of him, and just like the blue flames just gather, and then just a blast flies out as I'm gonna guiding bolt on the dude, give whoever attacks next an advantage. This guy's obviously hostile, so Graves is just like, I ain't fucking around.
Okay. Turning on some battle music.
I hope that goes well. 15.
Oh, I thought that was a 20 at first. I was like, dang, right off the bat.
Yeah. 15 to hit.
15 to hit the druid?
Yes.
Okay. That hits.
Nice.
And what does it do?
Roll some damage. Let's see. That's going to be 10 points of radiant damage, and the next attack against it has advantage.
Okay.
Graves will then move over here by this tree. Let me get myself.
I prefer your rolls that
Yep.
were in D&D Beyond.
I didn't look at them purposefully. I didn't want to be disappointed.
Okay, is that the end of your turn,
damage is
Graves?
Good. Yes, that will be all.
Okay. So this one. There we go. It's so far away. It can't run. His itty feet.
Gonna take the dash action to get to us, or is even that not getting it there?
Well, dash action it could do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah,
Coming
but
after
it can't
me.
attack.
Oh,
So, Konereth, it is your turn.
Okay. Nerth is going to.
Oh, also, don't forget we did have that separate conversation, Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gnarth's gonna move up, preparing himself to take some hits when the time comes, and is going to cast Toll of the Dead on the druid.
Okay.
So he has to pass a Wisdom saving throw of, what's my spell save DC? 13.
Oof.
Yes.
yeah.
Nice.
And he's already damaged.
And that was a
Yeah.
druid? correct? Okay.
Gets hit with radiance, gets hit with necrotic.
D12.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah. 11 necrotic.
Oof.
I got a good feeling about this one, guys.
That was
Okay.
Yeah.
was that Toll the Dead?
Yep.
Yep.
That is not an
Druid
attack.
is bloodied.
yeah. So someone can still
There's
get
sti-
advantage.
yeah, there's still advantage on an attack before the end of Graves' next turn.
And that'll end my turn.
Irina is going to delay her turn, just kind of let you guys fight it out.
Rhea's like, I just still want to imbalance the encounter.
Oh, hold on.
Don't want
Tried to
be
jump
easy.
way forward. So, Canareth, Druid's turn. So, the Druid is going to lift his staff up in the air, and you're going to see kind of green light descend upon him. And he heals for 5 damage. He's also going to he is going to kind of speak, and this twig blight is going to kind of look at him as he's speaking, and he's almost has like a series of clicks that he's making, like, and this twig blight seems to be understanding what he's saying, but no one else is able to understand.
It's Sylvan, and none of us know Sylvan. Probably.
That being
Or
said,
like
Herbert, it is your turn.
Aklo. That's
Ah.
that too.
Okay, well, he's looking awfully highlighted. I'll look over to Onyx and I'll say, do you have a ranged attack that you want to use here?
I just go for it.
All right. I will step to the side here, and I will pull out the heavy crossbow and fire that. So let's see here. Oh man, wait. Oh, hang on. Never mind. I'm not good at that.
But you
Never
have
mind.
advantage.
I'm not gonna do that. I do have advantage, but it's a +0. I forgot I'm not proficient with martial weapons.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I will probably use Toll the Dead.
Yeah, worst case scenario, Graves will just throw another first level guiding bolt at it.
Right?
Advantage on that, and then advantage on the next. When
So
you
he's
guys get to
gonna-
melee.
Make a Wisdom 12 DC.
For the Druid,
Yes.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
Well,
Ah.
well, that's my action. It's a spell, and I don't think I'm going to use any bonus actions at the moment. So I will. Let's see. I got 20 feet of movement left because I went over here. I'm gonna just stand next to our arena in case something pops out of the woods behind us or something.
Okay.
Never
And that
know.
will end my turn.
All right, Onyx, it is your turn.
I'm gonna call out. Why do you fight us? We are not servants of the asshole Strahd. And I'm not going to. Oh, it's still saying Herbert on my turn on my screen, so I can't move my token. There we go.
There we go.
10, 20, and I'm just gonna come up to this twig blight and bring my warhammer down on him.
Okay, roll me an attack.
Oh, only a 10.
It does not hit. It kind of this thing, it's almost like a series of twigs are being held together by invisible forces. Like it's not like it's a solid skeletal structure. So as you go to swing at it, it almost like dips inside itself like an accordion, and you swing right above it.
Right.
Okay. this one that he had been talking to, it suddenly, at the beginning of the turn, it runs over and it jumps at the druid. Kunareth, you have the best view of this, but you see that as this thing jumps at the druid, the individual pieces that make up almost separate from each other. And the druid reaches out, and as his hand comes in contact, the entirety of this blight shatters into pieces, and the bark covers the entirety of the druid, giving him almost a wooden armor around him, but destroying the blight at the same time.
That's cool.
Irina's going to hold her action. She seems like it looks like you guys have it. Graves, it is your turn.
Hey, I hit you with that spell for a reason. Get down already. And I'm gonna fire another guiding bolt at him.
At the druid?
Yeah.
Okay, roll me an attack.
And I get advantage this time. Oh, first. Oh, I wish I had my Tailspire or my D&D Beyond one, because that was a natural 20. But so a 12 or a 19. So a 19.
The 19 hits.
Yeah. We're going to... Come on. What the heck is it doing? Tailspires. Why is it rolling crit damage? I don't know what it's doing.
Because
and it's
you
not
rolled-
using...
Because
it's using
you
the roll.
rolled a nat 20 in
Oh.
D&D Beyond. So you
Okay.
have to roll it again.
Yeah. There, I got it properly this time. And it is a 16 radiant damage this time.
Good.
And will remain
Advantage.
advantaged. Outlined in pale blue and yellow flames as Pharasma's holy symbol. And Graves will, if he tries to move away, he'll get attacked. So he's just gonna fire the spell and just look down at this thing like, don't hurt me. And that's it.
Okay, this thing looks right back up at you, and it bares its fangs.
It's after
And
me.
its fangs are almost like, it looks like pretty much twigs that have been sharpened to points for its teeth. And it's just going to act, and it jumps at you. And it does a series of attacks, like all little small scratches. It's going to scratch at you twice, and then it's going to bite at your inner thigh.
Oh boy.
Is that like flavor, or does it actually have multi-attack?
It has multi-attack.
Okay. 18. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a hit. Yep. 15 AC. So yes.
All right, so the first scratch hits. Second one hits.
Yeah. There it is.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Not the
Great. 4. Okay.
Oh, wrong roll.
19 damage.
19 damage.
There we go. So I rolled a 5, a 4, and a 3.
Okay, so 5, 4, and 3. So that's 12 total.
Ooh.
Ooh, that almost
And again,
bloodies me right off the bat. Craig just looks like, don't hurt me, and then it just like tears into him.
I forgot we're only level 3.
He's just there like,
Yeah.
I said don't hurt me!
I look over at the health points. I'm like, oh. Oh.
Oh. That's a mighty hit.
Yeah.
Series of hits.
Okay, that is the end of its turn. Quinareth, it is your turn. You have this druid woodman
He's
All right.
glittering.
still laughing like a lunatic. He's just like and he is glowing currently.
Yes.
Kunareth reaches out with his mind as he makes his way up to him. I don't suppose there's any chance of reasoning with you.
As you attempt to like connect with his mind, it is like it's almost like trying to speak to the sea, that it's just this rolling storm of emotion and thought that it's not even coherent. You've had an easier time connecting with cats.
With cats.
A kitty.
This is
Carrion wild shaped.
This is my little god of death, Hades, as I worship the god of death, Pharasma, in the game.
You did Guiding Bolt again, didn't you?
Yes,
did.
so you get advantage. I got advantage on my guiding bolt to give advantage in your attack.
All right, Quinarith will go up and attempt to hit him with his Warhammer. Yes, this one. First attack is only 10. Second is worse.
No.
So,
Oh well.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, not enough to be able to get past this new armor that he has created around himself.
Excuse me.
as he raises up his hammer and goes to swing it down, and it bounces off of his wooden armor. For those paying attention, then Konarith holds his warhammer down to his side and raises up his other hand as his shadow extends out from underneath him, goes between the druid's legs, and extends up, taking the silhouette of a person and reaching its arms around the druid from behind.
Shadow powers.
Okay.
This is not the first time Graves has seen his shadow do weird, funky shit, too.
No, but this would definitely be the
Leave
first time that it's been to this magnitude.
Yeah, and looks very, obviously controlled by Konarith as well.
Yes. Pulling back up the thing
Yeah.
so I can look at it.
Does
'Cause
the advantage just apply to the first attempt, or does it apply to the first successful hit?
let
For
me take a
guiding
look.
bolt?
I believe it's the first
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah, first
His
attack.
first attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the next attack roll made against this target.
Okay, yeah, make me a melee spell attack. Or a spell attack roll.
Come on. Sheesh. 10.
That's a 4, a 5, and a 6 on the die.
Yep.
So this sword, it's kind of it's shaking off the shadow of it, but it is not able to get a grip upon him, and the shadow is kind of recedes a little bit.
Kind of feel a little deflated after that first turn went so well. That'll be it for me then.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So this druid, laughing maniacally, he's going to bring his staff forward and point it at you, and he is going to cast a spell. You see emanating from there a wave of thunderous force sweeping out from his staff, and I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Four, 5, 6, 7.
8.
Fortunately, that is not enough. As he casts this spell, you feel thunderous. You feel thunder almost shaking beneath the feet. All the rest of you hear this audible thunderous boom, and you are going to take thunder damage. You take 12 thunder damage, and you also get pushed 10 feet away.
I am bloodied.
That is the end of the druid's turn. Believe, yep. So that is the end of the druid's turn. Oh, let me click there.
All right. Well, Herbert sees, the combatants at least dwindled at least once, but strengthened this guy, and he seems to be putting up a fight, so I think I'm going to focus on him. Well, I don't know. This Twig Blight did a lot of damage to Graves, so I think maybe he'll turn his attention to the Twig Blight and cast Toll the Dead on that.
He is small but mighty.
He is small but mighty. So he has to make a Wisdom save, DC 12. And I don't believe he's damaged yet. Oh,
Okay.
Ooh.
well, he's going to take 8
Yeah.
product damage.
He shatters. Like you do like the Toll the Dead, like the bell noise goes off, and he, like the forces holding these twigs together just dissipates and the twigs just scatter across the ground.
Nice.
And he is dead.
All right, 1 down, 1 to go. And I'll just I'll stay in the back here next to Irina, just looking out for ambushers.
Okay.
That's it.
Onyx, it is your turn. Did it switch over to you this time?
Nope.
Guess maybe it's when I click it. It doesn't work.
I don't know. It's odd.
Uh,
My cat has now decided to sit right in front of the screen so I can like look
There we go.
around him.
And I am going to look at this guy, feel slight pity. You're like, you didn't have to attack him. But since you did, and I'm going to just like lay my hand on his shoulders as this like necrotic source just starts pouring over him. I cast Cure Wounds. Or not
Cure
Cure
Wounds?
Inflict Wounds. Sorry.
I was like, what?
I was like, Cure Wounds?
Yeah,
I
didn't
was
think this
really
fight-
confused.
This fight wasn't hard enough, guys.
Actually an undead, don't you know?
Yeah.
22 to hit.
Ooh.
That hits.
Oh man. Is it level 1?
Yeah, level 1. Oh, can I?
Could have been better.
I want the
You-
21 damage in
Yeah.
in D&D Beyond.
21.
You do enough damage to kill him. How do you want to do that?
Yeah.
I just like looking sad. I just placed my hand on his shoulders, and you just see the skin and muscle start to melt from there. And I'm sure he has this maniacal laugh still, as more and more of his body just kind of withers away into like ash as it goes off in the wind.
Out of curiosity, do you, when you say that you look sad, do your eyes change? Like, how does that look on Onyx? Since he doesn't necessarily have the same facial expressions that.
It's just like shoulders are like he's not in a combat ready. He's just like it might look
Got it.
more of like annoyance
Posture.
to
He did.
everybody else. Like, oh my god, I had to come do this. But yeah, he's just like a heavy hand on the on the guy's shoulder. His shoulders are kind of sloop. His warhammer's in its tough stuck on his back. Like he's just like, all right, man.
I guess I'll kill you.
And that is where we will end combat.
See, we now just need to like find a like artificer or something. Just be like, in Robin Williams' Bicentennial Man, when near the beginning they adjust his so that he can actually have like facial expressions as a robot. That's what we need for Onyx.
Hmm.
Just like
Someday.
overly animated, like very robotic, like.
See, I was thinking like Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist, where he does have
super
like suit of
chibi.
armor, but they like
Yeah.
make the cheapy like
Yeah, he just Onyx just goes
expressions.
super chibi and like.
Okay. Oh, let me switch back to exploration mode. So, you guys have just kind of come around the corner of it. This druid attacked you out of nowhere. Looking around, you don't see any other druids around as you are traveling along. And it just seemed like this one just attacked you, like with no rhyme or reason.
All right then.
Irina appears that she was kind of surprised by the druid, but is glad with how easily that it was taken care of.
Was his staff just a normal quarterstaff? Like,
It was, and as he kind of dies away, the like it was like a quarterstaff with like roots and stuff wrapped around it. As he dies, those roots kind of wither away and fall off.
He had nothing special.
yeah, I
on
was
him.
gonna say, is there anything on him that in pouches that would have fallen?
Roll me an
Fine,
investigation
fine.
check.
Ooh, would you like help?
I would love some help.
I'll give you some help.
Okay, so you add your investigation bonus to his roll.
Which my investigation bonus is a plus
It's not
3.
going to do shit.
So it's a total of 5.
You find herbs, mushrooms, in his pockets. You see some like
Start
small
eating
animal
the
bones
mushrooms.
that you
Yeah.
see some small animal
Snacks.
bones that look like they might have been carved to be used like needles, like bone needles. And his clothing itself was like very roughly sewn together animal skins. He didn't really have much on him, nothing that was metal at all.
I got some mushrooms. I don't even eat. Fuck it. Playing wrong character.
Yeah.
I look
I
down at that
respect-
shit and go, well, that was useless, and just kind of walk off.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Let's keep going.
You're
Yeah.
not
Grizzle's just-
surprised that a guy came on all fours running at us by himself and
I mean,
just attacked us.
Honestly, yeah, in Barovia, no, I'm not.
After what we've been through, I wouldn't be surprised if one of us ends up like him.
I guess my surprise is the fact that they weren't undead. There was no, like, dark evil, we got you.
It more seemed like someone who just
Went crazy.
the
At
yes,
the end of their rope. Just
the
when it
toll of
came
the
out-
land had. Sorry,
Yeah.
the land had taken its toll. Sorry, I interrupted you again.
No, you're good. I was just agreeing with you.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if you're a druid and you kind of connect with nature, I guess if the nature is corrupt, you'd probably get corrupted too, I guess, right?
That makes sense. I hadn't thought of
Or
that,
fool.
but yeah.
This poor fool could be a vision of any of our future.
Yes.
Yes, well, I think we'll be all right as long as we stick together, right? And don't run into that guy again.
Oh, by the way, I know Strahd had been following us. Is he still following us?
After this fight, I suppose we'd have to take a look.
We just like he's just standing there.
You
looking
actually
at
say
you,
that?
like, nice.
No, I just kind
You
of
actually
look.
say it, or you look?
I'm just looking.
So
Okay.
you guys had just gone around a mountain. like around like a mountain. That's where the druid had attacked you. So when you look back, you can't actually see further down the road right now.
So now he's just leaning against the tree, like, "Well done, jolly good, old chap."
The small clap, the slow clap.
As we walk, I'm going to keep looking back to see.
Yes.
Okay. As you guys travel along, you do see the black carriage off in the distance, still following along as you travel. It's probably staying about 2 miles back. Probably more than 2 miles, but pretty much in
enough
sight, but mostly if
Yeah.
you're looking for it.
Enough to like let us know he's there.
Or make us think he's there. Could be a smokescreen.
True.
I mean, if I were him, I would want to mess with us as much as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
So, kind of obviously following us is either a full-on power move or he's playing the long game.
Or both. He's pretending to follow.
Are you guys talking about this
Then-
openly?
Oh no.
No, this is just
yeah.
this is out of character.
Yeah.
See, we're gonna think he's following us because of that, and we're just gonna round a corner, and he's just gonna be taking a piss on a tree.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, there you
Just
are."
like goes all the way across the road. Like, hey, I drew a line in the sand.
When the sun passes this line, more dire wolves.
So, any conversations that are happening as you guys are walking along, the road is very clear. As far you're kind of traveling in between the mountains and the forest. You aren't really seeing anything else other than the druid that had attacked you initially. Otherwise, this seems like a pretty quiet part of the road.
This fight has inspired Herbert. So he is scrawling on some paper some diagrams. He's trying to work up a sort of metal casing that can be fitted to a warhammer or some sort of bludgeoning weapon that could like fasten an alchemist fire to the side of it so that it would on impact possibly explode or deal damage
Finally,
to
a
whatever
use
it's-
for alchemist fire.
He's just
That's
the gears are
ingenious.
turning. He's like, "Oh, if we could have used the fire effectively. You know, I didn't want to waste it. We only have the one, and I need to use it for my designs."
Like that. And
But
I'll be honest, that is a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand alchemist fire. So if you have any way you want to utilize alchemist fire beyond the vanilla, I will support you 100%. So
The 5e
that-
version is kind of shitty.
The 5e
Oh,
alchemist fire, like I remember there was one point when someone like used it, and I'm like,
That's it.
and we're like, oh, it does that. Then we read it, and we're like, oh, never mind, it's worse than we thought.
wasn't that in the Thursday game when you guys wanted wanted to throw it on the cultists and commit
Yeah.
a war crime? To be fair, you did commit a war crime.
It's
Yeah, we just
1d4
found a different way to do
damage,
it.
Yeah,
improvised weapon,
yeah. So like, it's
Yeah.
shitty.
and
But
it
if
costs
you
a
can add-
full action to use.
And it's
You can literally just pick up a club, light the club on fire, and it's more effective.
right. It's
So,
it's
yeah,
50
I'm-
gold.
Yeah. So yeah, and then it's like for me, I'm like literally anything that you do there there's magic spells that work way more effectively.
Yeah,
For
like
that,
strapping
or-
it to your weapon, be like, you
or
get a
throwing
D4
a
fire
torch.
on one.
Throwing a torch does the same thing if you're using it to light something on fire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So me, I'm like, if you have an alchemist fire, because I think that there was one I gave you guys earlier because it's what was in there in Death House.
Yes.
I am 100% in support of finding more creative ways to use those to make it actually useful.
Nice.
So, just putting that out there.
I just gotta
I-
figure out a way to make more of them.
Yeah, if you just throw it as an improvised weapon, I would probably give you disadvantage on your next turn. Like, that's how much I dislike alchemist fire.
Yeah.
It's almost as bad as the
anyways,
teacher strike.
rant over.
While we are walking, I would be our favorite fan is still hailing us.
Hmm.
Who are you talking to?
Probably Herbert, since the others were kind of trailing behind the last time, so you'd probably be the one closest to me.
Yep. Yes, I've noticed.
Don't like it.
I mean, neither do I. But what are we going to do about it?
Well, remember Madden does, right? Or reading. We are now at the near the because these mountains overlook the lake, right? We're going on a road around lake. You said
No, you guys have not arrived to the lake yet.
okay, but there's one
Um,
coming.
there is one coming up.
Okay.
That you know of.
Okay.
Yes.
But it is overlooked by some mountains, right?
Yes. These are very small mountains or that you're traveling by. They almost could be more so considered cliffs.
Well,
That their
Madam
difficulty in traversing is their like their steepness rather than their height.
Madam Eva had warned us about a pack of wolves in a den overlooking the lake. I know there's a lake coming, and we've already seen what Strahd does with wolves.
Yes,
Not
he
liking the
does.
fact that he's this close and we're headed.
Well, what wasn't that wolf supposed to be like an ally, or were they a weapon of some sort? Or I can't recall at the
Can't
moment.
remember. I remember something about wolves and overlooking a lake, and there's in a den, and I kind of got sidetracked on when she said something that piqued my interest, and I got thinking of. So I didn't hear much about some of these things.
Yes, I don't recall at the moment. I'm looking for my notes, but I can't find the recap that I did for that session.
For
um,
the I did put
yeah.
in the handouts a
Oh,
full thing
yes.
for the reading so that you guys would have access to it later and the exact things that she did say. Um
Yes.
for it. So should be
Oh, I'm muted. Oh well.
Yes, the Den of Wolves is supposed to be a powerful force for good.
Really?
Yes. So, I mean, it could behoove us to search around at some point. Um, but yeah, I suppose it was more described as hills rather than mountains, so this might not be the right place.
yes, it's in the hills overlooking a mountain lake.
So I think what we're looking for is a lake in a mountain, or within a mountain, and then some hills above that. If we're to interpret this correctly. Uh, Perhaps we could find out from the locals if there's a area like that. I know, obviously, Irina hasn't traveled here before much, right? So that, yeah, I'm sure she wouldn't know, but someone here might. Maybe even this Van Richten fellow.
Oh,
If
maybe.
he's a if he's a vampire hunter, he might have some knowledge of the local terrain. He probably has more freedom of movement than the average citizen.
Sure hope so. I don't know. This place has got me on.
A few hours have passed. You guys are walking. Now, this time, you are now kind of going around a cape of trees. Um, and as you pass there, you do see that ahead of you, there is a gap in the trees on the opposite side of the road. And you see Lake Zarovich through the trees, and it's probably about 2 miles down to the shoreline, off of the road. The road kind of continues straight ahead, and you can see well off into a distance, probably about a 2-hour walk, Lake Zarovich. It is now probably approaching around 5:30, maybe, or probably around 3:30 to 4:30, for time of day. But it's hard to tell with how overcast everything is. You can't see the sun or star or moon.
Yeah, we've just got that sort of dreary weather sort of malaise.
Hmm. Not raining though. It's just overcast.
All right, well, civilization. Shall we be on our way? Up to everyone.
As you
Yep, let's go.
as you guys are walking around along the road, you do see that there are more and more people on the road ahead of you. As if other people are coming from like being in the forest or other places, and they are kind of converging on the road and going to Valaki. That you're seeing a lot more traffic on the road than normal. Not like what you would see in like Waterdeep or one of the large cities of um that you guys have been in, but probably at least 20 people that you can see on the road ahead of you.
Like the most people we've seen here, period.
Yeah.
I guess the Vistani camp had a dozen or so too. So
Rena, are you gonna remain hidden this time, or do you think we're far enough away that you're okay?
I think I should be okay. I'm not sure though. I've never been to Valaki, and I just know that I know there's probably going to be guards at the gates that are going to be asking questions, so the more open we are, probably the easier it is to get by them.
Okay. Pretty
There we
good
go.
before we deal with people again? It's been a while.
Yeah, well, I suppose it'll probably be a welcome improvement from, this sort of bleak, endless traveling.
we hope.
One would hope.
Hopefully, it's more lively than Barovia. I wanted to say Bayoria.
They are.
Onyx looks at Konereth. Been quieter than normal. Is everything all right?
Yes, just I don't know, I guess not much to talk about as of late.
Onyx kind of tilts his head for a second. Shrugs. All right. As his mind has been racing.
Don't want to talk about that shadow thing?
Yeah, actually,
Actually, yeah, Grace probably would want to ask you about that. So at some point, he probably will.
Onyx has no idea what you guys are talking about because every time it's come out, he's been facing the other way, fighting something else.
Yeah. I think you're about to say something cool, so I'll let you say your thing before I'm like, Grace is gonna talk.
I know this usually isn't something that a character says, but can I request a maybe perception check from the other players to see if they notice something in our
Perception or
travels?
insight? Okay,
I'd say
perception.
perception.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
See if we notice that your shadow is walking a little differently next to you.
Yeah, notice
Men-
something a little bit
uh,
different.
17 from Graves.
I'm oblivious. I don't care.
I got an 18.
Yeah.
All right.
8.
I almost said Huso. Just like without even thinking.
Right.
Herbert and Graves probably noticed that Kadera's been kind of standing off to the side a little bit more lately. And every now and then, like out of the corner of your eye, you might have noticed that despite maybe the sun being ahead of us or whatever direction it is, the Conera's shadow would occasionally be cast in front of him as he's walking, rather than being cast behind or to the side where it should be based off the direction of the sun. And he just kind of is staring down intently at it. Maybe occasionally like making faces or something. Not like silly faces, but like the kind of faces that you would make if you were holding a conversation. But
So yeah, at
Donaire
some
doesn't
point,
use his mouth, so
yeah, at some point during this trek, Graves would walk up kind of next to Kunat and be like, "Kunat, my friend, if I may be so bold, I was wondering about something.
yes.
Back when we were in Barovia in the basement with the vampire son, I noticed that your shadow wasn't quite matching with your movements, and I've noticed bits and pieces of it since. And then in that battle a few moments ago, it seemed as though you were fully controlling it. And even now, I see you're paying close attention. Is that it? It strikes me as different than your normal powers from Saloon. If you don't wish to share, I understand, but it does concern me, especially if he kind of just like fiddles with the iron or the intricate key on the chain that he has.
Not so much that I don't wish to share, it's that I'm not entirely sure what to share. It's strange. Something I think I'm just learning over time. I might have more to tell you at a later date, but I'm just kind of discovering it myself.
Hmm. No, so if that's the case, then I mean, if you don't know what to say, you don't know what to say, and I can respect that. But just to say, if anything more develops, do have. I'm cautious of it, and I. You're a wise man as well, but I would simply say, just to reiterate, that this could be very beneficial and definitely something worthwhile, but do remain on your guard.
Okay, and go ahead.
No, I was just basically just going to end the conversation.
Was there
You're
anything
good.
you were going to say, Grace? Or sorry, Conair.
Oh no, I just remain silent.
Okay, so I just messaged this to Alex to make sure I kind of had gotten this voiced. As you are approaching the town of Valaki, Mirabelle, the crow that has been, or the raven, I should say, that has been uh, traveling with your party, jumps off of, takes flight from Herbert's shoulder and flies ahead straight towards Valaki, leaving you guys behind.
Wave. Goodbye.
Pull out my crossbow.
Oh, dead.
Sacred flame.
A hawk just comes down.
Okay, so you
There's
guys
always a
are
bigger bird.
you guys are getting closer and closer. Anyone that is kind of looking behind, you do see the black carriage in the distance. And you are going across. Ahead of you, you see a number of people with carts, mostly look like farmers. There's a young man with dark hair that looks like he has just like a simple pack. He's carrying a book. There's a um number of different people that look like they're hunters, and they are going um into the city of Valaki. There are two guards flanking the gates as you are approaching, and they are nodding at people as they are entering into there. As you approach, these guards are wearing typical garb that you would be used to, but they are wearing particular mask that are unsettling that you have not seen before. Let's see. And
Getting a handout.
yep.
Join our Discord, see our handouts. That I also said earlier, but then realized I was muted while I was like,
You approach, and they are wearing these white masks with fake smiles upon them,
I don't like it.
is
and
that
an orange sun connected to them, as if they are almost affixed to them after the fact. And when you get within 20 feet, the guards seeing you see that you are not someone that normally enters the city, and they kind of ready their weapons. And they're like, "Oh, halt now."
do those
And that's
suns,
where we're going to take a bio break.
nice. Do those suns on their masks remind us of like Lathander stuff at all?
It does not. It looks
Okay.
completely separate, and it does look removable. It looks like it's something that's added on.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Nice.
all right. So we will be back in a few minutes or two in a bio break, and we will see you then. Hello and welcome back. We are back from our bio break, where our players have just come to the town of Valaki. I'm going to be switching us over to the map. This is a more sizable map, so it might take a moment to load for you guys. Let's see.
We shall see.
My internet's been awful lately.
Luckily, it shouldn't be internet. It should be
All
just
right.
your side.
Okay.
We'll see. Also, shout out to anyone from Harmonia if there's people watching from there, because I saw a few of you guys were interested. So just thanks for coming.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to be bringing you guys over.
Doo-doo.
There we go.
Here we come. Ooh,
Look at the farms.
Oh my.
yeah. Oh man,
that.
this. Oh, this.
Cutscene mode.
This
Okay.
is a big map. I like it.
I was
Okay.
able to zoom out.
Yeah, I was zooming out and was like, I barely see anything still.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Ho ho.
Oh.
So, kind of giving you guys a bird's eye view of the map, so you can get kind of a scale of the size of the city. And this will be one that I will also be sharing in our handouts, or I create a new channel called Maps, so that will separate those things out. We'll
Nice.
share the official player map for the town of Valaki. And this is a town. Go.
Not a hamlet, not a thorpe, just a town.
Map says city.
Yes, the Tailspire one that was just carrying over city. I haven't changed the name of it yet.
Ah, gotcha.
but it is a town. So,
And I take it we're coming in from the top.
you guys are coming in from the east.
So the bottom
Mhm.
right corner of the map.
Yes, and the compass in Tailspire does match up with the compass on the map.
Oh.
So, if you are looking at things, it kind of gives you an idea to be able to know, like, okay, this is the area. We likely will be the next quite a few sessions in this town. So this is definitely a town that's explorable and has a lot to offer. So, okay.
Herbert is excited a little bit by this prospect of going into a city this size.
Okay, so we are going to be. Oof, I'm way up there. There we go. Let me pull your guys' tokens.
Oh. Okay, we're coming in over here.
Um,
Ah,
Very
Does anybody remember how to tilt the camera?
you
mouse.
hold the middle mouse button.
Yep.
drag up.
Ah, perfect. Oh, that I always forget that one, and it's so nice to actually be able to do. All right, now where's my token? Way over there. Yeah, that's what I did too.
Okay, so we're going to have you guys move forward to this area up here.
The gate.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
It is starting to get a bit darker. I'm gonna move up the exposure so it's not too crazy. There we go. The guards, the one yells like, yells forward. He's like, "Halt now! What brings you four here? Five, I should say." And he kind of nods his head towards Irina, who is in the back,
We
right there.
we are travelers from the town of Barovia.
Hear that, Dad? Calls it a town. Okay.
Oh,
The other one kind of chortles as well.
I mean it's fair.
Yeah.
Yes,
What
it's
business
been-
have you in Valaki?
We wish to find refuge, at least in our travels. We're interested in exploring the area.
The Barovia has been not as safe as late. The devil has had his eyes on it, and we wished for a safer refuge.
Well, seems to make sense. Well, if you're can you roll me a persuasion check there, Herbert?
Sure.
It's not a super high DC, but just see.
Did you get bonus because I was helping?
Yes, I would allow that.
I have a plus
Right.
4 modifier, so
Oh,
I guess it means you
oh,
get a plus 4. I
Man,
am proficient in it.
I want my D&D Beyond roll.
Okay, so you got 13.
13.
He kind of nods and he's like, "All right. You seem like decent, God-fearing folks.
Yeah, we
You
all
can
are like
enter."
Prominently displaying holy
Yeah.
symbols.
Yeah, he's going to seven signs are going to be like, you can enter. Just remember, uh, no fighting, no brawling, drunkenness, keep in the tavern.
Those are all very
Yep.
fair rules.
I don't think we have anyone here who would have any issues with that.
If you need it in,
Nope.
there's the blue water in the cross town.
Blue one.
If you don't have money, St. Andrew's Church is over there.
What St. Andrews, which god is that of?
Fuck if I know. Just ask the priest,
That's
Father Petrovich.
Petrovich.
Do I look
Donovich
like a
and Petrovich.
churchgoer? Just go.
Um, on my travels here, I heard the name of Dr. Van Richten. You know where he hangs around?
I don't know where he is. Haven't seen him.
Okay.
They're the 20th person to ask me here today.
Really?
Yes, everyone wants to see the good doctor. Everyone wants the good doctor to kill the devil's Strahd. Nothing's going to kill the devil's Strahd. We just need to keep happy, keep our heads down, and hide within the walls. Now, go on. I don't have time.
Penarith extends out the statement to the other three adventures. Not nearly as cheery as the masks imply.
No, certainly not.
No.
What protects this town from Strahd?
Are you asking the guard this?
Yeah.
Why? The happiness of the people. Remember, the festivals are always coming. All will be well.
What festival?
Oh.
This is a purge town.
What is it this week, Dan? Dan kind of points to the star on his head. And let's see. And he's like, blazing sun this year. Or this week.
Interesting.
The
Well,
Blazing Sun Festival?
Yes, starts in 3 days.
I suppose we'll hear tons about it in here.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Excellent. Sounds like a fun time.
So, if happiness can keep Strahd at bay, why not make Barovia happy?
Hard to keep that place happy, how dreary it is. No walls to protect against the wolves. I'd be unhappy too. Why do you think I live here?
You
Now-
make a very good point.
A queue's building up behind you.
Oh,
Please.
I apologize.
Go into the town. And he kind of points in. You see ahead of you, some people have kind of stopped to turn around. You see the few hunters. You see the guy with the book and the backpack. Can you all roll me perception checks?
I am amazing
Excellent.
at it.
I'm
Oh!
proficient. There you go.
I'm apparently on edge next to people.
I'm just looking down at the road and trying to determine how it could be better constructed.
All right, so Graves got
17. Well,
so both Graves and Onyx got 17, and you guys are the highest, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right,
got 10.
Graves
I
and
think so.
Onyx, you guys are looking ahead, seeing the people in there, the hunters, dark-haired kid, a few of the farmers with their carts. As you turn around, you see the black carriage off in the distance and a figure standing next to it. You do see that they are wearing robes of red. And the gates shut behind you.
All right. Well, did we want to go to this church first, or go get lodgings?
Well,
It's-
Irina,
Go
where
ahead.
were you supposed to be headed to?
That's a good question. We've never been to Valaki. We don't know anyone here.
And just here in general.
Yeah.
Like we were hoping I could find a place once I got here.
We'll say
I
we know the
I don't have much money. I'm going to be paying you all for the safe passage, and then I'll probably see if the church is able to offer me.
yes. Say he did say if we don't have much money, we can go to the church. Uh, with all of our backgrounds, I don't think the church would be a bad place to head to anyway.
I
He
agree.
said there's the blue water in
Across town.
which you can pay for. Yes, where we can pay for and probably nicer accommodations, but I think the church might be a good first stop and kind of they might be able to help us get some bearings here in town.
Fantastic. Where's the church?
Good question.
Ah.
Good sir. Sir, would you be able to direct me to Saint whatever's church?
Are you speaking to anyone in particular, or just the place at large?
The closest good sir.
The closest good sir. And Grace probably remembers the name of the church, but Garion already forgets something with an A.
Andril. So,
Saint Andrew Church.
so you would, as you kind of say this, you see this gruff-looking hunter that looks like he slept in a ditch for the past 3 nights. He just kind of looks at you. He has like a 2 or 3 days growth on his chin. He kind of scratches it, and he's like, "Looking for the church?"
Yes, we heard they might be able to give us a hand. Do you happen to know where it is?
Oh yeah, Saint Andrew's Church, great place. I would recommend talking to Father Lucian. Will change your life. He made me feel like I had more of a purpose here rather than just the endless festivals over and over and over again. But yes, great man, Lucian. What was your question?
Revolution. Where is the church?
Oh yes, across town.
Cross that. Perfect. Thank you, my good friend. You said
Can't
Father.
miss it. High
Excellent.
spires.
Excellent. You said Father Lucian, so you said to speak. You said right?
Oh yeah. Him or he also has an older boy named Yeska, both very helpful people. Will give you a meal if you're needing one.
Yes.
But yes.
Have you met
What
Father Pulvich or whatever it was as well? Is that name ring a bell? We've also heard of him. Do you have any
Petrovich?
Petrovich? Yes. Do you
Oh yeah,
know? Is he a
say
good man as
one
well?
and the same. One and the same.
Okay.
Father Lucian Petrovich.
Okay, certainly. Sorry for the confusion. Thank you, my friend. You've been very helpful.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yes. Thank you.
All will be well. And he just turns away and
All
walks
will
away.
be well.
I have shared. You guys see these posters everywhere.
While that conversation's happening, Quinaris looking at one of the posters on the wall. It appears we have to bring children with us to attend this festival.
Must bring children?
It says
Attendance and children required.
Now, you see these posters everywhere, like posted everywhere. And underneath these posters are other posters. There's like multiple layers of posters that they've put over it. And right behind it, you see that one called the Wolf's Head Jamboree.
Do they
And
all require children?
It's all required attendance by everyone.
Yeah, so
Okay, so it doesn't mean bring children. It basically
includes-
like everyone has to go.
Yeah,
Includes
Quinaris just
children.
misreading it.
Okay. That's how Garion read it, so. Right, well, I mean, it's a festival. That should be something uplifting, hopefully. Maybe.
it's weird that it's required.
I seem to get the feeling that the government authorities in this town want to keep everyone happy and quiet.
But if it's
All will
required
be
and you
well.
don't want to go, wouldn't that make somebody unhappy that they have to go?
Yes, but I don't think that's quite the point. It's more so to keep everyone in line, I think. Would be my guess. Keep control.
It might be some strange superstition that they have.
That's true. Well, he said it's the
Although,
happiness that keeps Strahd away. So
I
that
mean, can you really argue with the results?
that's fair.
I mean, I would need more data to really
Yes,
know.
we have yet to really see what the town is really like, but it he like points to the walls. There's no claw marks.
There are not.
I assumed we were talking while walking, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Let's just hop along this map.
yeah, and so I'll kind of pause you guys as you kind of come upon landmarks throughout the town, as you're going. So if you pause there, Onyx, you see over here to the left side, you see a number of sheds along there. It appears this is a large stockyard, has several locked sheds along its periphery, and lies adjacent to a roomy warehouse. A wooden sign above the front gate reads Arasek Stockyard. You do see on the opposite side as you were walking down, uh, parked at the south end of the stockyard, right here. Parked at the south end of the stockyard is a sturdy carnival wagon, its colorful paint peeling off. Faded lettering on its side of the words reads Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders. And a heavy padlock secures the back door.
Wonder what's in there. But
Circus.
Is this area over here seem to be kind of like the town square area, essentially?
Wonder
It
how
does
often.
look like it's a square. It's definitely a lot of people kind of moving in and out of there.
but
Let
it looks like
me-
it's part of the stockyard itself.
Okay.
I would assume that this was the sign for the stockyard.
yes.
Or okay, and this is
This would be, it's a pretty large stockyard. There looks like there's sheds around. This is the warehouse that you had seen.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah.
So that's like the
These are the
stockyard.
Different
locked
stalls,
sheds.
beds.
yeah, and this looks like it has a series of different stores and things like that that are in there.
Hmm.
Excuse
Looks
me.
like we could get
Okay.
whatever we need there.
Yes. That's quite useful.
Okay. Let's see.
I wonder if they have any guild members there.
Up these stairs.
Okay, so you guys kind of see like a fork in the road. You could go to the right or to the left.
Yep.
Upon it,
Oh,
looks like you
didn't
guys
even see
are
that.
heading to the right side.
I see
Yeah.
coffins
well.
over here.
Coffins, where?
Over
Where?
here.
Oh, it looks like there's like
Right here.
some back here too.
Uh,
Probably
you know,
that's where Graves would probably be working if he lived here.
It's
it's a big
over
map.
here. If you follow my light,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
over
we're
here.
there. Okay. Oh, well, I mean, every city's got to have an undertaker.
Yep.
Exactly. Like that was Graves' job, digging
Yep.
graves and doing that. Did
Okay.
Conair get stuck? Or just wander off?
Oh, yeah, where is Cornareth?
He's over here.
Ah,
Okay. Trying to make sure I'm keeping track of where you guys
Yeah. No,
are.
I'm pausing from time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Most
Cole's
of these
tried to
look like they're just
over
kind
here,
of
too.
generic houses. They don't look like businesses. They don't look like nobility or anything special along this road.
I think Conair's trying to
Oh.
look at a thing back here.
Where? Oh, Canary. Okay.
you got a
What are
little
you looking at
distracted
here?
along the path.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, this weird statue with a candle on it.
it is a statue with a candle on it. It looks like it's an old gargoyle that might have been part of like a thing, but it's just kind of been set up there and used as light for the town. It's a shrine of Debella.
I think I hear Tom.
Oh, thank goodness. Canareth, I was worried.
Oh, there you are,
I
friend.
got distracted for a moment.
Now, the area here, it is kind of bustling with people. It's not like completely uninhabited at all. Um, let's see.
Fortunately, we're a queer enough looking group. It's pretty easy to find us again.
Yeah. Have we noticed the spires of the church yet?
Let me take a look.
I was gonna say,
If
I'm
you're told,
assuming
You have not.
the church is
Okay.
here.
Yes, you would be correct.
That would make sense.
So,
But we can't see that quite yet.
Right.
yeah, you are traveling along, making sure I'm kind of keeping track of this. It's weird looking at the other map and kind of tracking along
Where we're going.
with where you're
Yeah.
going because it's slightly different.
This looks like the
Um,
shopping district. We're seeing rugs. We're seeing signs
Yeah.
hanging.
It looks like we're coming in, like we
Just
came
some
in at like
stalls.
the back end almost. Yeah, like the inn's over here, the church is over here. This seems more to be like where you're
Mhm.
intended to be as visitors.
Now, as you are going along, let's see. This, you see a sign here,
Hmm?
and you do see that it does say Blue Water Inn.
Okay.
Gray smoke issues from the chimney of this large, two-story wooden building with a stone foundation and a sagging tile roof, upon which several ravens have perched. A painted wooden sign hanging above the main entrance depicts a blue waterfall.
It's very pretty, at least.
It does
So
look like it's very busy. A number of people are pouring in and out. Sounds like there's a joyous time with it.
Well, it's busy, so perhaps should we try to secure rooms now before they fill up?
I thought we were headed to the church first. See what church
He
can
did
offer
say that
us.
yes, he did say the possibility of the church having housing as well for
Oh,
cheaper, and I feel like that would be a good connection. Father Donovich was quite helpful comparatively to most of the rest of the town, at least.
oh yes, that's right. Sorry.
And this Father Petrovich seems very well liked, at least.
That, and I'm not carrying a whole bunch of gold.
I mean,
I
not a
have
ton,
some.
but
Yeah, you guys never did like a sale trip. Like you
Nope.
never sold anything.
we have capital. We have valuable things, and I
Yes,
could
it might be
offload
best.
them for gold.
I also feel like it's starting to get dark. I feel like perhaps it might be easier to sell some things tomorrow when the markets are opening.
Hmm.
And then we might have more gold. I do have some gold on me. If we do need to come back here, I can pay for rooms if we need to. But it might be good to pay less tonight if ideally. Connect with the church, and then offload our goods tomorrow, gain double gold, then we can have better accommodations.
I would
Yeah.
like to make sure Irina gets to where she needs or anything.
I think she did mention going to the church
Yep.
as well.
All right. Well, let's continue on to the church, shall we?
Keep going this direction. I assume getting decently close to the church now.
What do the what do the townsfolk look like? Can I insight the townsfolk as we have been
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
passing by them?
Yeah, for sure. Roll me an insight.
All right.
Yeah, they're more like
Uh,
mostly humans, more well-to-do looking, more ragged.
That you wouldn't need a check for. They do look like they are mostly human. Actually, pretty much all human. You don't really see any non-humans. Um, around. You would be getting looks as you're passing by, just because you guys look very out of place. Um, definitely
yeah.
not the same amount of um like distrust that you had gotten initially um
Robia?
when you visited Barovia. People aren't shutting the doors as you're going by. They kind of keep their distance. Um, but they definitely look like they have a much better life than most people in Barovia. Um, that these people have more of a semblance of actually living rather than just trying to survive.
Okay.
So,
Right on.
um,
I got an
you
8,
guys
so
an 8. Yeah,
that's
with the 8, you get the sense that people are kind of watching you. Um, but seeing your holy symbols, they aren't as distrustful of you. Um, you would know that those of evil um type creatures like werewolves, vampires, things like that, are very unlikely to have holy symbols upon them. And
Yeah.
so it immediately gives you that little bit of extra um like
Credibility.
credibility, yes, exactly, to be able to be trusted. And so you get the sense that these people are normally distrustful um of people, but because of your guys' standing, they will accept you more readily.
all right. Do I get any? I probably don't get any sense of like how they feel about the way that they have to live or anything like that.
Not at
Or that
all.
it's not really.
You wouldn't really. The biggest thing is you would tell that like while people do have a better life, it's certainly a dreary way to live. That they are not thriving. They are living, but not thriving.
Yeah, way better than Barovia though.
Hmm. It's almost like a tier system. You have Barovians who are barely surviving. You have um Valachians who are living, and then people who like in Waterdeep they were thriving. That's kind of a land of plenty, and this is not a land of plenty.
It's not.
Kind of more
But
like a lot of average towns, so.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
So you guys arrived at the church. Now this map, uh, it's to scale closer for the actual size of the town, but when we're actually going to be using the individual buildings, I will be moving you guys to a separate map just so that it's actually um able to be moved around and you aren't like crammed in there
Yeah.
or everything. So you will notice as you walk forward, you're like uh you look around and you're like, this obviously had the same architect as the church in Barovia, and it actually looks exactly the same. Maybe a little bit better upkept, but certainly the same builder and designer.
Do we see like holy symbols or any indication that it's, I would assume, also
Um,
Lathander or anything else?
let me.
Or not until we go inside?
Wasn't it? Did they call it Ilmater or was
They
that
called him the
the,
Morning Lord,
the Morning Lord?
which was an old use of
Old
the.
name for Lathander.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, it's the same map.
Yes. Like I said, it's going to be kind of set up very similarly. Mostly the building. Now, while Barovia had a lot more space around it, Vallaki, land is more of a commodity. Um, or space, I should say, is more of a commodity.
Yeah, it's
So
more
let me.
packed town.
Alright. So as you are approaching, you would see that it definitely is a Church of the Morning Lord. It has a lot of the same iconography type things. Now, as you are approaching, let's see. The slouching, centuries-old stone church has a bulging steeple in the back and walls lined with cracked, stained glass windows depicting pious saints. A fence of wrought iron encloses a garden of gravestones next to the church, and a thin mist creeps around the graves. Now, I want you guys to back up a little bit because as you approach, you do see that there is someone sitting on the steps. Um, Let me see a good. I will use the same one as Ismark. You see the young man that you had entered ahead of you at the gate and was that was carrying a book and had the backpack um or the rucksack I should say. He is sitting on the steps almost as if he is uh just kind of lounging there. That's just he's kind of loitering. He's reading a book kind of lazily, kind of enjoying the day as you are walking up. He's not blocking your way. You're easily able to walk around him.
Is there anything remarkable about him?
Roll me a perception check.
Not super perceptive, but
I get
it's
that.
okay. 16.
Yeah, so let's see. So you actually see him, and the book that he is reading
Van
is
Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
it's actually called um uh On Hunting Vampires by Dr. Van Richten.
Ah.
So you were
Oh.
close.
um, I'll say, oh, fan of the Doctor, are you?
He kind of looks up and he's like, "Well, I've never met him, but I've heard it's always good to learn about your enemies, so I decided to read it."
Oh, well, wait. Are you an enemy of Van Richten?
No, the vampires, and he
okay.
kind of
More so
sorry.
than the average person in the land of Barovia. Just, you live here, the Devil's Strahd, or particularly an enemy.
I am
Excuse me.
no ally, if that's what you are implying. I
Well,
think that it'd
sorry,
be
no. Sorry, no, that
no.
was not my intentions. More so,
There are many that will not say anything, but I am one that openly opposes Strahd.
that was
I
more my question, sorry.
Yes, he is. I think that he has fallen for what he once was. Yes, he is powerful. He is grand. I believe that at one point he may have been noble, but his vision has not been able to be carried out in this land, and he has become uh he hasn't been
Complacent?
able to be. You could say that. Are you all enemies of Strahd, as you say? He kind of he gives kind of like a wry smile, and he like um he's not like poking fun at you, but you can tell that this guy is more genuine, like a very personable person.
I would definitely say we're not on the best of terms.
Who is, right? Well,
And
I've been reading this book and learning quite a bit. I'll be honest, I've never really been much of the adventuring swordsman type, but perhaps this would be useful for you. It was in the book when I got it, and he kind of flips to the back and he pulls out a pamphlet. And he's going to hold it out to you. I actually am in the process of making this pamphlet for you guys. I do not have the handout yet. Um, but it does you do see on the front that it's like um it says it's kind of in like this like big bold writing, like trying to get your attention, and it's like it says the vampire, the threat that can be in every cave.
Hmm.
But
And
are
Herbert
you
takes
here
the
for the
book.
church?
Partially.
Yes.
Well, I know Father Lucian had made some well, I should say Yeska had made some soup, and I'm sure that they'd be more than happy to take you in. I always like to greet newcomers at the steps and just kind of joy. Now, I must ask, and he kind of steps down as he says it. He's like, I've heard most of you speak, but I haven't heard you. And he kind of looks at Conereth, and he's like, or this lovely young lady speak. Irina kind of blushes a little bit and she gives a slight bow and she's like, my name is Irina. And he's like, it is a pleasure to meet you, Irina. Welcome to Valaki.
Graves will look to Konair to kind of give him like a bit of a look as like, do you want to talk to him? Do you want me to explain or ask him?
Knerith will reach out to speak to him. My form of speaking tends to make people uncomfortable, so I usually leave the conversations to the others.
He looks slightly taken aback initially, but doesn't look scared. Um and he's like, it is understandable. Well, as long as you remain to protect the city of Valaki, you will have an ally in me. These people are all worth protecting.
Doesn't seem like much needs to be done on our part. All is well, that is.
So it would seem. And he's going to kind of sit back down and he's going to be he's going to pull out the book and he's like, go, you look like you're weary from the road. Go see Father Lucian. I'm sure that I'll see you at some point throughout the town.
Well, it's good to meet you, my friend. What? Sorry, before we go, we didn't catch your name.
My name is Vasily. Vasily von
Vasily.
Holtz.
Vasily. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, my friend. I
It
assume
is a
my
pleasure. I did
companions.
not catch your names as well. I caught Irina's, but
I am Graves. And then he'll look to whoever's next to him.
My name's Herbert Lightforge. Uh, this is this is Onyx over here, and the quiet one was Conereth, obviously.
okay.
I don't know if he
Well.
introduced you or himself or not because I couldn't hear your conversation.
He did not, but
Excuse me.
I will forgive him the lapse, for I had lapsed so long in introducing myself as well.
That's quite all right. You know, it's not something someone does every day, typically.
As you guys are talking, you see a young man. He's pretty brawny, and he has a furrowed brow. And he kind of walks by you, has a shovel over his shoulder, and he's going to kind of walk in. he's going to walk through here, and as he kind of walks past Herbert, he's not even going to like move his shoulder. He's just going to kind of walk through Herbert.
Do I recognize like the kind of like the wear and tear on his hands as something similar to what I would have?
100%. You see a fellow gravedigger in your midst.
Well, excuse me, of course. Yes, my bad.
He kind of looks back at you, and he has like this glare that he kind of just has it, and he moves past you and walks into the church. Vasily kind of looks and he's like, heed him no mind. His name is Milvosh. He's the gravedigger of this church.
I can understand that work. I spent a good few years as a gravedigger myself.
Yes, he's not one that's a huge fan of. I would say he's not a huge fan of visitors, but I don't think he's a huge fan of non-visitors either. But on and all, if I will warn you, unless you would like to have your ear talked off, I would not mention the festivals coming up to him.
Maybe we'll talk to him about the trade instead.
It's possible. I mean, I'm not sure how diverse of a trade it is. I mean, dig dirt, move it here, dig dirt, move it
Oh,
there.
you'd be surprised, my friend.
Don't get him
Probably
started.
not.
No.
Probably not in real life. I don't know. But Graves is like, oh, you'd be surprised.
Right.
You have to take irrigation into account and decomposition.
Yes,
Yes,
See,
you need to make sure that you
He
are
would-
close enough
he-
to conserve space, but far enough so that you don't compromise stability.
He would hold up his hand. He'd be like, "Forgive me, I will have to take your word for it." And he tries to like cut you off, but in a polite manner, because he's like, I don't really want to know.
Onyx just has his hand over his face.
But with that, he's like, "Oh, it was nice to meet you again. I'm going to get back to reading before I lose too much daylight."
That sounds wonderful. Well, pleasure meeting you, as I said. Friends, are we ready to head in?
Let's do it.
Onyx might tail
Okay.
behind and just ask him, you
Vasily?
say- yeah. You say you haven't met the doctor, but isn't he supposed to live around here?
No, I've heard that he is in Barovia somewhere, and the last rumored place I heard was Valaki, but I've never seen him. But I'm guessing that if someone reading his book, it seems like he suggests anonymity as one of the biggest strengths when fighting vampires. And it could be that he's trying to hold that to pretty much not be seen by Strahd, and therefore cannot be attacked by Strahd. So he could be in disguise. Who knows?
Yeah.
Onyx wants to get like an insight on
For
whether
sure.
he thinks that this guy is in fact the doctor.
Roll me an
That's
insight
been my
check.
shot too.
Wait a minute.
Oh!
Nat 20! 23.
You look at him, and he's younger. He's
Okay.
probably in his late 20s, early 30s. Based on everything that's kind of been said about this doctor, you anticipate him being older. So you do not think that this is the guy.
Okay.
Unless he's using some type of like magical disguise.
It's Milvich.
Yeah, which at this point, insight check wouldn't really be able to get past
No.
it.
I
But
clap him on his shoulder as I go by. Well, thank you. Just to see if he feels like he looks.
yeah, for sure. Are you like, so you're trying to hit him to see if like looks like he feels different than what he looks there.
Yeah, I
Correct.
pretty much just put my hand like on his shoulder, like people do as they pass by. Well, thank you, good sir. As tap him on his shoulder just to make sure that it's like,
You don't
yeah,
feel like any form of like armor or it doesn't feel like he's frail at all. It just feels like he is a normal commoner.
it's proportionate to what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, I follow the rest in.
Okay, and that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Damn it! I had thought I had found the secret.
That would have been great. Just like,
Yeah. That's
have
what
you
that's Van
pulled his
Rechten.
mask off? It's like, oh, you got me. Just...
I would have gotten away with it too.
All right, that is where we are ending tonight's session. Thank you so much for joining. And remember, all will be well.
Sure.